Chapter 358. Everyone was dumbfounded. What's going on? I don't know. Looks like someone else is coming. I think it's said that A is only the sous chef. The real head chef hasn't arrived yet. A food reporter looked like he was going crazy. Oh my god. I'm going crazy. Even A can only be a sous chef? Who the hell is the head chef? Another food blogger made a God bless gesture. I'm already satisfied to be able to see this god in my life. Could it be that I'm lucky enough to see the legendary? Who is it? Someone asked in confusion. Who else can make a sous chef? The food blogger revealed a secretive expression. The other food reporters and food lovers thought of that person at the same time. They were all in disbelief. That's impossible. I think it's impossible too. There's no way we can invite that person. Otherwise I'll swallow this wine glass. Then I'll swallow a spoon. Time passed by and about 5 minutes had passed. The banquet hall's doors finally opened again as the guests waited anxiously. The leader of the group was a foreign old man dressed in a neat chef's uniform. Behind him was a well-trained team. The old man walked in at a steady pace. When the hotel owner saw him, he hurried over and greeted him politely. He reached out his hand excitedly. Mr. Daniel, you're finally here. Everything is ready on our side. We're just waiting for you. The old man nodded slightly and shook hands with the owner politely. He then walked straight to the head chef. A, who was at the sous chef's seat, bent down and gave the old man a 90-degree bow. He then personally helped him put on his apron and prepared some lemonade for him to wash his hands. When Fay William, who was idling in the corner, saw the old man, his eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He could not close his mouth for a long time. Master Daniel, how is that possible? Am I dreaming? After saying that, he pinched himself exaggeratedly and grimaced in pain. Master Daniel had always been his idol since he entered the industry, a holy scripture in his heart. Not to mention observing from such a close distance. Even if he could see it from afar, he would have no regrets in this life. His unwillingness and reluctance had all turned into joy at this moment. In the banquet hall, those who claimed that they would swallow their cups and spoons just now were all dumbfounded. Motherfucker, someone pinch me. Pinch harder. I'm definitely dreaming. It's better if you pinch yourself. I've already pinched myself a few times. Her thighs are already purple from my pinching. It's not a dream. Who is this old man? Fangya asked curiously. The other crew members who didn't know much about him also came up to him. Yeah, who is this? More powerful than William's master. One of the senior food reporters stared intently at the old man's every move and explained in a respectful tone. If William Fay is the leader of the younger generation of food practitioners, then his master Apasa is the mainstay of the food industry, representing the highest level of the food industry today. What about Daniel? Someone immediately asked. Chapter 359. Daniel Joseph. Another food blogger sighed. He's a textbook existence for every gourmet industry. He's the Bible in the eyes of gourmet lovers. He's an eternal classic, a treasure of country F. The food journalist sighed. He was so excited that he was about to cry. Everyone eat and cherish it. This is the only time in your life. Fangya blinked. After saying so much, he's just awesome, right? The others also sighed. I don't understand, but I think he's awesome. Anyway, I must eat more tonight. Luckily, I haven't eaten all day and purposely left my stomach empty. Fangya smiled and moved closer to Ning Xuelua to tease her. Xuelu, your Suyan really put in a lot of effort to propose. I think it's not enough for you to repay him with your body. Hurry up and get married and give him a baby. Ahahaha. That's right. That makes sense. And he has to give birth to a few more. Ning Xuelua stomped her feet in embarrassment. Hey, you guys, stop talking nonsense. All right, stop teasing her. Su Yan looked at the little woman next to him with adoration. At this moment, he was completely convinced that the restaurant had invited the two masters to please the Su family, so he was at ease with everyone's flattery. That's heartache. It's too much. I can't stand it anymore. Fangya knocked on the plate and looked in Ning Shi's direction with a faint smile. Someone is pretending to be calm. But she must be so jealous that her liver is about to explode, right? Doesn't she always like to compete with our Xuelua? Let her continue. But I can't help it. Su Yan is really too ruthless this time. He's the god of cookery for 3 generations. Each of them is a legend of an era. He invited them all at once. As expected of the Su family, they have such a strong background. Ningxi is good at pretending, but her little assistant is too inexperienced. Can't you see that she's about to cry? Hearing those people talking about her, Xiao Tao forced herself to hold back her tears. She didn't want to embarrass herself further. Sister Xi, I'm sorry. Ningxi hugged her. Alright, you've said sorry so many times. Besides, even if someone has to apologize, it should be me. I'm the one who implicated you. I'm not strong enough now, not strong enough to let you not be wronged. Xiao Tao pursed her lips and couldn't help but sob as she threw herself into Ningxi's arms and cried. Although the sudden change of moving from Lung Manyan's side to Ningxi's side made her feel indignant, she still liked Ningxi very much. Although Lung Manyan was a big shot, she was too aloof and wasn't easy to get along with. Unlike Ningxi, she didn't put on any airs when interacting with her, and was especially good at making people happy. It was clear that she should be the one comforting her, but she was the one comforting her instead. Fortunately, Mr. Daniel was about to start cooking, and everyone's attention was on him, so no one noticed Ningxi and the others. Actually, the current situation tonight was already the best situation for Ningxi. Although she would receive some supercilious looks, but at least there weren't any big problems that she couldn't solve. But she was still a little uneasy in her heart. With that fellow's bad taste, since he said in the letter that he was going to do some surprise, it was impossible that he didn't do anything. Tonight, she was afraid that it wouldn't be so easy to pass it peacefully. AI Oscar bless me, please don't do anything funny. Otherwise, if that bastard really dared to ruin her career, she definitely wouldn't let him have it easy. Chapter 360. At this time on the main stage, Ning Xuelua, who was complacent, rolled her eyes and thought of something. The corners of her mouth rose slightly. Then she looked at Ningxi in the far corner and said in a soft voice, Ningxi, can you come over here? Hearing Ning Xuelua's invitation, Fangya and the others were confused. Why did she ask that woman to come up? However, since it was Ning Xuelua's request, they wouldn't disagree. Xiao Tao glanced at Ning Xuelua and said angrily, Sister Xi, let's go. Otherwise, others will think that we are afraid of her. What can she do in front of so many people? It was not good to refuse directly on such an occasion. Besides, there was a live broadcast in the hotel. Ningxi narrowed her eyes. After so many years of fighting, she could guess some of Ning Xuelua's bad intentions. So Ningxi didn't hesitate. She stood up slowly, walked to the main stage calmly, and stood in front of Ning Xuelua. Seeing the two of them standing side by side, some of the actors in the crew sneered secretly. This scene was really interesting. If Ningxi's admirer sent a so-called surprise later, it would be even more perfect. Ning Xuelua invited Ningxi to sit beside her warmly, and then said, Ningxi, I heard that you're very interested in the top gourmet masters in the gourmet circle. The position just now was not good. You can see them more clearly from here. You can't see those masters usually. After Ning Xuelua said that, she held Su Yan's arm naturally and leaned on Su Yan's body. They looked very intimate. Ningxi smiled politely and didn't say anything. She knew that Ning Xuelua didn't ask her to go on the stage with a high-end plot. It was just to disgust her. Humph, I don't know what you're feeling, but you look so calm. What a good actress. Fangya sneered at Ningxi, while the rest of the crew members whispered to each other, and occasionally looked at Ningxi with amusement in their eyes. What kind of surprise do you think Ningxi's suitor will give us? If he doesn't come soon, our banquet will be over. Who knows? Don't guess what he's thinking. Ha ha ha, let's enjoy the feast first. Don't lose your appetite later. Otherwise, you'll suffer a great loss. Then, under the devout gazes of the guests, Mr. Daniel paused for a moment before he started cooking dinner. He suddenly turned to the guests and spoke in fluent Chinese. Tonight, I am extremely honored to be invited to attend the banquet of the beautiful and honorable Miss Ning. I will cook a delicious dinner for you, your friends, and your distinguished guests." With that, the old man bowed to Ningxi and Ningxuelua in a very gentlemanly manner. "Beautiful and noble Miss Ning, I wish you a good night." Ningxuelua smiled happily and nodded at the old man. Seeing this, the old man frowned and was a little confused. He was talking to Miss Ningxi. Why did the woman next to her keep nodding to him? However, the old man didn't care too much. His task was to prepare the banquet. As for the rest, it had nothing to do with him. Chapter 361. Soon, the first dessert with A as the sous chef and Mr. Daniel as the head chef was ready. Beautiful and honorable Miss Ning. The Chinese name for this dessert is Premium Frozen Chocolate Ice Cream Sundae. Although the name is a little complicated, you can try the taste first. With that, Mr. Daniel personally carried the dessert to the main stage. The food reporters were going crazy. Not only did Daniel make it himself, but he also gave it to them. It was such an honor. I didn't expect it to be that kind of dessert. Damn it, is he going to defy the heavens? There are almost 30 types of cocoa in the sundae. 14 of them are the most expensive and delicious cocoa in the world, and there's even edible gold on the sundae. It's not dessert, it's all money. Some food reporters had only heard about it, but it was the first time they saw it with their own eyes. Moreover, it was made by Danielle, so they were very excited. Most girls liked this kind of delicate food, and Ningxuelua was naturally attracted by the dessert in Danielle's hand. Seeing Danielle walking over gracefully, her heart beat faster, and from time to time, she looked at Ningxi with a meaningful smile. "Thank you." Su Yan was very attentive. He reached out to take the dessert in Danielle's hand. However, Danielle didn't buy it. He said seriously, "Sir, I'm sorry, this is a special dessert. It's not for you." Ugh! Ningxuelua chuckled when she saw Su Yan's awkward face. She pulled Su Yan's arm and said, "Brother Yan, it's fine. Let Mr. Daniel give it to me. Brother Yan, you don't have to join in the fun." Su Yan smiled helplessly and moved away. He thought that the top chefs were a bit weird, so he let them be. When Danielle walked to Ningxuelua, she immediately smiled sweetly and said, "Mr. Daniel, thank you." After that, Ningxuelua reached out to take the plate of tempting ice cream. However, at the very next second, Mr. Daniel's actions exceeded everyone's expectations. Mr. Daniel was confused. He stared at Ningxuelua and said, "Miss, I didn't prepare the desserts for you." "Not for me." Ningxuelua was surprised. "Then who is it for? Didn't you say Miss Ning?" "Sorry, the Miss Ning I mentioned is Ningxi Miss Ning." Daniel's tone was firm. He didn't even look at Ning Shui. He bypassed her and walked straight to Ningxi under countless surprised gazes. "Beautiful and noble Miss Ning, please have a taste." The old man probably didn't do it on purpose, but the words beautiful and honorable seemed to be deliberately emphasized in the ears of the others, as if to say that only Ningxi was worthy of these two adjectives. Even Su Yan and Fangya were dumbfounded, let alone Ningxuelua. After the old man finished speaking, there was a dead silence. After a long time, sporadic sounds could be heard from the crowd. Are you kidding me? Miss Ning is not Ningxuelua, but Ningxi? No way. How could such a thing happen? Is it a prank? Did he deliberately want to make a fool of Ningxi and let her be surprised and excited first? Are you kidding me? Would such a big shot do such a prank? It's really Ningxi. Are you kidding me? A and Danielle, these two great gods, are both here for Ningxi? Chapter 362. After being surprised for a long time, there were still many people who didn't believe it. That's impossible. There must be a mistake. How could it be for Ningxi? Who does she think she is? How could she invite such legendary figures? Yes, Faye William only needs to spend money, but these two are definitely not people who can be invited with money. Ningxi is just a third-rate actress. How could she invite such people? Just then, someone in the crowd reminded them weakly. Did you forget one thing? Fangya said in the love letter that she was going to prepare a surprise for Ningxi. Could it be this? Hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded. No way. Isn't that a poor girl? Who said he's poor? We've been making wild guesses all along, okay? Now think carefully about what was written in the love letter. The most honorable, most tempting, most irresistible gift. The world's top food. It fits perfectly. Hearing this, everyone revealed an expression of sudden realization. You don't say, it's really true. Everything will make sense then. Now that I think about it, that love letter is actually quite cute. It's quite cute, but I don't know why so many people think it's weird. Speaking of this, everyone began to look at each other. In this case, the two great figures who came later were the surprise prepared by Ningxi's pursuers, not Su Yan's for Ning Xuelua. Ahem, this is a big mistake. We all thought it was prepared by Su Yan. Ha 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 ha. Ning Xuelua happily promised to marry him several times, and even gave birth to several children. Finally, she invited Ningxi to sit at the main seat and watch them closely. But it turns out to be a misunderstanding? Oh my god. It's so embarrassing. After the old man finished speaking, Ning Xuelua sat on the chair in a daze, her nails clenching into her palms. She almost thought she had just heard it wrong. It was only when she heard the mocking words that she had no choice but to accept the truth. She turned her head stiffly to look at Su Yan. Big brother Yan, you really didn't invite those two people? At this moment, Su Yan's expression was abnormally ugly. His tone was not very good as he said, Xueluo, I've already said it. It really wasn't me. It's you who didn't believe me. Ning Xuelua immediately glared at Fangya who was on the other side. It was all because of Fangya who had misled her. Fangya cowered a little further away. She had been talking nonstop just now, but now she didn't dare to say a word. Damn, he was blaming her again? How could she have known that something like this would happen? Wasn't your Su Yan very happy to be praised just now? You didn't even refute a word, and now you're blaming me? This bootlicking was too difficult, wasn't it? For a moment, everyone's eyes turned from Ning Xuelua to Ningxi who was in the corner, and the way they looked at Ningxi was a little different. Although such a shocking thing had happened, Ningxi's expression was the same as before. From the moment she entered until now, whether she was ridiculed, or ridiculed in public, to the old man's words, her expression had never changed. He was completely unperturbed, and even had a hint of being unfathomable. Chapter 363. After seeing Ningxi's fitting room last time, I vaguely felt that Ningxi's background might be very powerful. Sure enough, her pursuers are really awesome. Fangya kept saying that Ningxi was jealous of Ning Xuelua. What's there to be jealous of? Exactly. She's single now and has a lot of high-quality pursuers. She's even better than Ning Xuelu. On the main stage, Mr. Daniel was still waiting for Ningxi's comment. Miss Ningxi, please comment. Ningxi took a bite under countless gazes and replied politely, This is the most delicious and incredible ice cream I've ever eaten in my life. Thank you for coming all the way here. Thank you for your comment. It's my honor. Danielle left the main stage in satisfaction and began to prepare the dinner. Ningxi ignored the discussions around her. She never paid extra attention to people who weren't important to her. After accepting the old man's kindness, Ningxi returned to her seat. She held her chin and looked at Xiao Tao, who was completely stunned. She teased, Xiao Tao, do you want to eat ice cream? Eat. Xiao Tao suddenly came back to her senses and then blurted out resolutely, Yes. I want to eat it. Xiao Tao looked at the ice cream Ningxi brought back excitedly, and then stared at Ningxi blankly. Sister Shi, these two masters, did they really come for you? He wasn't hired by Su Yan? Ningxi looked helpless. Yes. Su Yan didn't invite them. Now can you be happy and eat something? You've been crying all night. Xiao Tao wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Sister Shi, why didn't you tell me earlier? You made me suffer for so long. There were so many delicious food, and I didn't even get a bite. No, I have to eat more. No, I don't want Faye Williams ice cream. I want to eat something better. Humph. Then she swallowed and stared at the ice cream. But can I really eat this ice cream? They all say it's very expensive. Ningxi directly picked up the pure gold spoon that was specially made for desserts, scooped a mouthful of ice cream, and fed it to Xiao Tao. Xiao Tao greedily inhaled the sweet scent that assailed her nostrils. She took a bite and said, "Oh, it's delicious. It's really delicious. How can there be such delicious ice cream?" Ningxi looked at Xiao Tao's chubby little face with a gentle expression. Then, she thought of something and an imperceptible cold light flashed across her eyes. That bastard. He definitely did it on purpose. First, he deliberately mystified her, so that she was constantly on tenterhooks. Then, when she was at her most nervous, he suddenly gave her a piece of candy, causing her mood to fluctuate as if she was on a roller coaster. Damn it! Was it that fun to play around with her? What was wrong with him? Not far away, Ning Xuelua heard the conversation between Ningxi and Xiao Tao. Her heart was filled with anger and hatred. At this moment, Su Yan's romantic proposal became a joke. Who was the main character of this wrap-up party? Soon, the first appetizer was ready with Mr. Daniel as the head chef. Coincidentally, it was the same as Faye Williams' choice. It was also a scallop white truffle. Everyone looked at each other and began to focus on eating. Then everyone's face revealed an incomparably strange expression. Chapter 364. Even though I'm a layman, I know the dishes made by the two masters are really so delicious. It's the same dish, but 100 times more delicious than the previous one. It's amazing. How did they do it? Can anyone explain it to us? We only know how delicious it is, but we don't know how to cook it. Where's the reporter teacher? Tell us. Yes. Come on, let's give a professional review. In the urging of the crowd, the senior food reporter was tasting the food seriously without saying a word. Then he shushed them and closed his eyes. Don't talk. I want to remember this taste. This is the only chance in my life. The performance of this senior food reporter was not too exaggerated. Several of his colleagues and many others at the scene had similar reactions. In the corner, Xiao Tao was eating happily. Ah, it's delicious. I also want to know why it's so delicious. Ningxi glanced at the truffles on the plate and said, "First of all, it's because of the different cooking techniques. The cooperation of the two masters almost made such a simple dish perfect. Secondly, it's because of the difference in ingredients. You know, even the cleverest housewife can't cook without rice. So ingredients are also very important to cooking. If I'm not wrong, the white truffle this time comes from the world's best quality white pine tree alba. It's also known as the fruit of God, and it's extremely rare and expensive. Furthermore, only the essence of the tree has been extracted, so you can imagine the final result." Xiao Tao's eyes widened. No wonder it's so delicious. Oh my God. I feel like I'm eating gold. Then she looked at Ningxi with admiration. Sister Shi, you know so much. Ningxi smiled. Because I also like to cook, so I do some research. I'll cook for you when I have time. But I'm afraid you won't like my cooking after eating the master's dishes. How could it be? Sister Shi, you made it yourself. How can it be the same? When Ningxi was speaking, the people around her also pricked up their ears to listen. After listening, they all showed a look of sudden realization, and then looked at the reporter for confirmation. The food reporter nodded repeatedly. It seems that Miss Ningxi is also knowledgeable. No wonder her pursuer didn't hesitate to invite two heavyweight masters. Other than Ning Xuelua, Su Yan and Fang Ya, everyone enjoyed the meal very much. Su Yan's expression was extremely ugly. Tonight's wrapping-up banquet was originally prepared for Ningxi, but in the end, it was stolen by an unknown suitor of Ningxi. Su Yan subconsciously looked at Ning Xuelua. At that moment, Ning Xuelua's expression was so gloomy that it seemed like it could drip water. However, Su Yan could understand. If it was anyone else, they would probably mind. After all, this was a once-in-a-lifetime proposal. All the carefully prepared romance had turned into embarrassment. Soon, Su Yan gritted his teeth as if he had finally made a decision. He quietly walked to a secluded corner of the hotel and made a phone call. "Dad, the situation is like this, so I want to ask Uncle He Xian for a favor, otherwise. Shueluo and I." Su Yan's expression wasn't good. It was obvious that the tone on the other side of the phone wasn't good. Chapter 365. On the stage, Ning Xuelua stared at Su Yan with a smile. She had already guessed why Su Yan called her. In the past few days, there was indeed a great god living in the Su family. He was the founder of the most famous high-end restaurant in China, Green Lotus. He had cooked delicacies for high-ranking officials in Great Britain, France, Germany, and so on. He was born in the family of the god of cooking. When he was young, he was even gilded in several countries. In recent years, he had disappeared and rarely appeared in public. However, such a master cookery had a close relationship with the Su family. It was because of He Xian that Su Yan was able to ask Fei William for help. Su Yan did not dare to do anything to He Xian, because of He Xian's identity. However, the current situation forced his father to ask He Xian. It was not only because of Ning Xuelua, but also because of Su Yan and the Su family. After a while, Su Yan finally put on a smile. Ning Xuelua, who was in the distance, had a cold glint in her eyes. She was slightly relieved. Judging from Su Yan's expression, his father must have been convinced. Only Su Yan's father could invite someone like He Xian. Su Yan's father was studying abroad when he was young, and he was He Xian's classmate. It was said that He Xian had helped He Xian a lot. As long as Su Yan's father asked, He Xian would definitely help out for his father's sake. As long as He Xian was here, even though he could not beat Danielle in cooking, his influence would not only be limited to cooking. Soon, Su Yan walked back to Ning Xuelua and smiled softly. Xuelua, don't be angry. There will be a bigger surprise later. Uncle He Xian will come and cook for you personally. Ning Xuelua was surprised. She shook her head and said, Yan, what are you doing? Why would I be angry? It's rare for my sister to be happy tonight. I don't want to compare with her, and I don't want to fight with her. I just want Yan to be by my side. Hearing this, Su Yan held Ning Xue in his arms and said in a softer voice, Xue Luo, I know you don't like to compete with others, but tonight belongs to you. I won't let anyone steal your limelight. I don't think Xiaoxi will either. Just let her suffer a little. After Su Yan finished speaking, he sighed inwardly. Previously, because of Cui Kaijing's matter, he had indeed neglected and wronged Xue Luo too much. After all, this was the girl that he was going to spend the rest of his life with. Tonight was such an important night. No matter what, he had to make her happy. In the end, Ning Xue Luo nodded her head obediently. Her gaze fell on Ning Shi, who was still enjoying the delicacies. She sneered in her heart. Ning Shi, you want to fight with me? Tonight's banquet was extraordinarily lively. It even attracted a large number of reporters to surround the hotel. However, the hotel had temporarily increased a large number of security guards to prevent outsiders from entering. At this moment, Ning Shi was talking to Mr. Daniel about food ingredients and cooking. Mr. Daniel was very kind and patiently answered Ning Shi's questions like an elder. Thank you, Master Daniel. You're really amazing. Ning Shi was full of joy. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm afraid that some people won't agree, I might want to accept you as my disciple. Mr. Daniel teased like an old urchin. It was obvious that he liked this little friend who loved cooking very much. Just when Ning Shi was about to say something, a sudden cold snort spread through the whole place. Chapter 366. Humph. A bunch of Western worshipping fools. What's so good about that? It's not even half as good as our ancestors. The history of our Chinese cuisine is broad and profound, with a long history. Any of the 8 major cuisines is enough to defeat those foreigners in a second. Fangya stood on the main stage and sneered. Her words were too harsh, and someone couldn't help but refute. Beauty, you can't say that. Our food is naturally good, but country F is also famous for its food. We can only say that each country has its own strengths. That's because you haven't tasted top-notch Chinese cuisine. Otherwise, let's see if you can still say something like that. Fangya looked at Ning Shi disdainfully and rebuked. It's because there are so many Western worshipping fools like you that our ancestors' things are gradually declining. Instead of supporting your own country, you all go and worship things from other countries. Shallow. Shallow to the extreme. Not only are you shallow, but you're also embarrassing yourself. In the corner, Ning Shi narrowed her eyes. She knew that Fangya would not have said those words. However, Ning Xuelua was behind Fangya, as expected. With Ning Xuelua's personality, she would not give up so easily. Now that Wuxia's surprise had surfaced, Ningxi no longer had to be on tenterhooks. She no longer had any psychological pressure, so she ate leisurely as she watched them struggle. The atmosphere was initially good, but they did not expect a nationalistic youth like Fangya to suddenly appear. Everyone's expression was a little awkward, especially the two foreign chefs. They were fluent in Mandarin, so they naturally heard Fangya's words. For a moment, their expressions did not look too good. We're having a rap party tonight. We're acting in a Chinese costume drama. Why did you hire foreign chefs? What a joke. Fangya continued to mock them. Ning Xuelua looked very satisfied. She stared at Ningxi and sneered. All of this was within her plan. Next, she just had to watch Ningxi become the target of public criticism and wait for the letter from the top chef in China to arrive. Tonight, it would still be perfect. Gradually, some people on the scene began to agree with Fangya's words. They pondered and said, "Actually, what Miss Fangya said makes sense. The top chefs in our country are indeed very good. They are not inferior to those two foreigners at all. Let's talk about Mr. He Xian. As the founder of the top restaurant in China, Green Lotus, he has been invited by the leaders of various countries. This is enough to prove that our Chinese chefs are the best and not inferior to Western chefs. It's not just a letter of congratulations. There's also a legendary figure in the world of chefs in Cathay, Old Master Kai Fengxian. His ancestors were all royal chefs who cooked for the emperor. It's not an exaggeration to say that his culinary skills have been improved by his ancestors. It's not even an exaggeration to say that he has reached the acme of perfection. He's even been cooked by the Queen of England and given great honor. That's true. Old Mr. Kai Fengxian is indeed a legendary figure, but it's impossible to invite him. It's simply impossible. It's just a waste of words. Even if Mr. He Xian wanted to invite him, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens, okay? I don't think so. The romance and delicacy of a Western chef is something that a Chinese chef can never compare to. Nonsense. Western chefs are cold and flashy. How can they compare to us Chinese chefs who are full of humanity? Chapter 367. As the discussion went on, representatives who supported Western food and Chinese food began to speak out one after another. Not only those who knew about Western food, but even those who didn't were patriotic. So more and more people joined in the debate, and in the end, everyone was in a heated argument. Fei William was the most embarrassed one, because he was a mixed blood and didn't know who to support. Seeing that the two factions were quarreling, the time was ripe. Ning Xuelua's eyes suddenly lit up, and she hurriedly glanced at Fangya. Fangya caught Ning Xuelua's gaze and immediately understood what she meant. She immediately stood up and said, "We'll know who's better after the PK. Ningxi is so capable that she can even invite Mr. Daniel. It must be easy for her to invite a chef called He Xian, right? Yes. Let Ningxi invite him. That's killing two birds with one stone. Then you don't have to quarrel. Facts speak louder than words." For a moment, everyone's eyes fell on Ningxi. Ningxi looked indifferent and didn't respond. Seeing that Ningxi didn't say anything, Fangya naturally wouldn't let her go so easily. She continued to ask, "Ningxi, what do you think? You invited him, and now everyone is quarreling because of him. You can't just stand by and watch, can you?" "That's right, a perfectly fine banquet has turned into such a mess, making everyone unhappy. Ningxi has so many pursuers. Call them one by one. There must be a way, right?" Xiao Tao tugged at the corner of Ningxi's clothes. "Sister Shi, can you ask your pursuer to invite Mr. He Xian?" Hearing that, Ningxi took a look at Xiao Tao and gave her a cherry. She said lightly, "Xiao Tao, everyone has their own preferences. Some people like to eat radish, so does that mean that cabbage is inferior? If others like it, let them invite him. We just need to eat happily." Oh, Xiao Tao didn't fully understand what Ningxi meant, but she still nodded. She thought about it carefully and realized that she did talk too much just now. Who was He Xian? In the world of Chinese chefs, he was second only to Mr. Kai Fengxian. How could he invite him? He didn't even know how he managed to invite Mr. Daniel. And now he had to ask for a congratulatory letter. This was simply unrealistic. All right, I'm just asking. Actually, I don't think it's possible either. These people are too much. Thanks to you, I got to eat so much delicious food. It's fine if they don't feel grateful, but in the end, they're even making things difficult for you. Xiao Tao was annoyed. After complaining, she murmured, "By the way, it's impossible to invite Mr. Hexian. It's just Fangya and the others who are making a fuss and trying to make Sister Shi lose her limelight. What do you think, Ningxi? Your pursuer is so capable. By the way, ask him to invite Mr. Hexian here, so that we can broaden our horizons." Hearing Fangya's suggestion, many people agreed, but most of them still found it unbelievable. Are you kidding me? It's hard enough to invite Danielle, and now you want to invite a congratulatory letter? What's more, you're inviting him over right now without an appointment. You must be dreaming. I thought it was a taxi, waving my hand and coming over. Ningxi's pursuer may have some background, but it can't be exaggerated to this extent. Chapter 368. Actually, Ningxi is quite pitiful. She managed to suppress Ning Xuelua's limelight with much difficulty, but this kind of accident happened. Someone whispered. Fangya said faintly, "Who can she blame? Who asked her to be so pretentious?" Su Yan proposed to Xuelua, but she didn't let it go. She had to jump out and make her presence known. "Look for him. Why aren't you looking for him now? We're all waiting. What do you think, Beauty Ningxi? Say something. Are you going to invite him or not?" Fangya became even more arrogant when Ningxi kept quiet. Forget it. At this moment, Ning Xuelua, who was on the main stage, suddenly said. Immediately, everyone's eyes fell on Ning Xuelua. Since everyone wants to try Mr. Hexian's cooking, let Brother Yan and I invite him. Don't make things difficult for Ningxi. Ning Xuelua said softly. Hearing this, everyone came to a sudden realization. The meaning behind Ning Xueluo's words was also very clear. Ningxi's suitor could only invite Danielle for him. Was it even possible to invite a congratulatory letter? No one thought that Ningxi's pursuer had the ability to do so. Wait. Xuelua, you mean you and Su Yan are here to invite a congratulatory letter? Suddenly, a food reporter came back to his senses and exclaimed. Yes, I believe everyone will be able to see Mr. Hexian in a while. Ning Xuelua's face was full of confidence. Her previous unwillingness and disappointment had completely disappeared. Oh my God, Xuelua, I can't believe you could invite Mr. Hexian. Am I dreaming? Fangya pretended to have an exaggerated expression and almost danced with joy. Well, don't worry. Tonight is not only the banquet, but also my engagement day with Brother Yan. So Brother Yan and I will try our best to satisfy everyone's request. Ning Xuelua said elegantly. As Ning Xuelua's voice fell, the crowd was in an uproar. Everyone was extremely excited. Since Ning Xuelua had said so, Mr. Hexian should be coming. Tonight, not only would they be able to taste Mr. Daniel's top-notch Western food, but they would also be able to see Mr. Hexian. This was something that they wouldn't even dare to think about on a normal day. At most, in a few breaths, the hotel door opened. Countless exclamations could be heard from the reporters outside. A middle-aged man in a traditional Chinese suit slowly walked in. Congratulations, congratulations. It's Mr. Hexian. It really is Mr. Hexian. Su Yan and Xueluo really invited Mr. Hexian over. Holy shit. The food bloggers were so excited that they lost their composure when they saw Hexian. Uncle Hexian. Thank you for coming. Su Yan and Ning Xuelua walked up to them respectfully. Yes. Hexian looked at Ning Xuelua and Su Yan and nodded. He had heard about what happened tonight from Su Yan's father. First of all, congratulations. I don't have much time. Let's get started. Hexian said to Su Yan and walked straight to Danielle. Hello, Mr. Danielle. I didn't expect to meet you here, Hexian said with a smile. Oh, Mr. Hexian, I've long heard of your name. You're a top chef in China. It's my honor to meet you today. Mr. Danielle was also very polite. He Xian's culinary skills might not be as good as Danielle's, but He Xian's culinary skills were not limited to that. After all, he had been invited by the executives of various countries, and was praised countless times. In terms of status, he was definitely not inferior to Danielle. May I borrow this place? He Xian asked with a smile. Chapter 369. Danielle thought about it. He had just finished cooking the main course, so there was no reason for him to take over the chef seat. In the end he nodded. All right, my mission is over. I'll give up my seat to you. Danielle then led his team to the VIP area and gave up his seat to He Xian. Everyone exclaimed when they saw Danielle giving up his seat. They thought that Danielle was admitting defeat. Mr. Danielle, isn't it inappropriate for us to give up our seat? He Xian's culinary skills are not as good as yours. Mr. Danielle definitely has the upper hand in every aspect. A frowned. Our main course is done. There's no reason for us to take up the seat. Danielle did not seem to care. Since Danielle said so, I naturally did not say anything else. After all, at Danielle's level he would not care too much. In less than half an hour He Xian had finished cooking a few unique Chinese delicacies. The rich fragrance immediately spread to every corner of the hotel, causing many people to drool. Miss Shueluo, my blessings for you and Su Yan are all in the dishes. He Xian said to Su Yan and Ning Shueluo who were in front of him. Thank you, Uncle He Xian. Ning Shueluo was smiling. Su Yan was the same. Due to He Xian's arrival, all the awkwardness and unwillingness from before were no longer there. The one who should be feeling unwillingness should be Ningxi. How blissful. Even Mr. He Xian came to congratulate Su Yan and Shueluo's engagement. He's the top chef in China, unlike someone who tried to hire a foreign chef, only to be defeated by our Mr. He Xian. Fangya purposely looked in Ning Shueluo's direction and sneered. All right, don't spout nonsense. Ning Shueluo stopped her. I'm not spouting nonsense. The truth is, Ning Shueluo's suitor wants to compete with your brother Su Yan. What a joke. I don't know where your confidence comes from. Fangya regained her arrogance and stared at Ning Shi mocking her. That's right. We can only hire a foreign chef. If you're so capable, invite a top chef in China to take a look. Humph. How dare you compare yourself to Su Yan? You're so full of yourself. Fangya and the other members of the crew started chattering nonstop. In the distance, Ningxi smiled and shook her head. These people were indeed interesting. She even had a feeling that if she replied to them, she would be instantly assimilated and turned into an idiot. Mr. Danielle is an external chef after all. He can't be compared to Mr. He Xian in China. Indeed. Although Mr. Danielle's Western cuisine is the best in the world, I still prefer our Chinese cuisine. If you like Chinese delicacies, that only proves your taste. I like Western cuisine. I feel that Mr. Danielle's Western cuisine is superb and unrivaled. Ha! What a joke. That was only the acme of perfection. Do you know what it means to be in a trance? Just as everyone was discussing and refusing to give in to each other, there was a squeaking sound. The door of the banquet hall was silently pushed open from the outside. Under the dazzling crystal lamp, a young man was supporting an old man as they stood at the door. The old man was dressed in coarse hemp clothes and had a head of white hair. He looked hale and hearty and had the demeanor of an immortal. At that moment, some of the guests were quarreling, some were mocking Ningxi, and some were watching the show. The first person to notice the old man was a middle-aged man. He was arguing with the crowd, but he suddenly looked at the door and was speechless. Elder Kai. Chapter 370. In an instant, everyone followed the gaze of the indignant man. In the next second, everyone was stunned, especially Fangya, who had been mocking Ningxi a second ago. Her expression was as if she had seen a ghost. That person is. That old man looks so familiar, shit. He's Kai Fengxian. I'm not dreaming, am I? Someone rubbed his eyes. What are you talking about? Are you sure you're not mistaken? No. It's Elder Kai. Mr. Kai Fengxian. I've seen him on TV. Someone exclaimed. I've seen the young man next to him on TV too. Isn't he Elder Kai's eldest son, Kai Ching? If you don't believe me, I'll search for him online. National TV had previously produced a very popular food program, which had once caused a gourmet craze. The last episode was dedicated to old Mr. Kai Fengxian, which left a deep impression on the people. Therefore, besides the professional food reporters, there were many who knew Kai Fengxian, including Fang Ye and the others. The young man couldn't contain his excitement. He was the first to greet her. Elder Kai, do you remember me? 8 years ago in Qing City, there was a small restaurant where you taught me personally. The old man pondered and said, Is it called Laifu Restaurant? Are you Laifu? The young man's eyes reddened. Yes, it's Laifu Restaurant. I'm Yuan Laifu. I didn't expect you to remember me. If it wasn't for your guidance, I wouldn't have made up my mind to leave my hometown to study. I wouldn't have achieved what I have today. Someone recognized the young man. Oh, I remember this man. He's quite famous. Isn't he the head chef of a high-class restaurant in the capital? I heard he worked his way up from a small village. I didn't expect him to have such a relationship with Elder Kai. Hearing this, everyone admired Elder Kai even more. Elder Kai really has students all over the world. That's her charisma. After sighing at Elder Kai, everyone was confused. Why would Elder Kai suddenly appear here? Elder Kai, why are you here? The young man asked excitedly. Father is here to celebrate with Miss Ningxi, answered Elder Kai's son Kai Cheng. As soon as these words came out, the entire place fell into a deathly silence. When everyone came back to their senses, their first reaction was to look at Ningxi in the distance, as if they had seen a ghost. Fang Ye and the rest of the cast were stunned, including Su Yan. Ningxiuelua's smile froze on her face. Damn. This Ningxi. Absolutely amazing. First it was the god of cookery, then it was the godfather of Western cuisine, Master Daniel, and now even Kai Fengxian, the founder of China's gourmet industry. I'm fucking convinced. Ha 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 ha. Did you see Fang Ye and Ningxiuelua's expressions? Just a second ago, Fang Ye was acting like a snob, barking like a madman, and now old Master Kai is here. I'm dying of laughter. Ningxi is so tough. So what if he's acting tough? He has the capital to act tough. Moreover, he could really pretend to be dazzling. Out of these 3 people, which one of them didn't instantly turn Fei William into slag? Even Mr. He Xine can't do it. I'm so happy. This banquet alone is enough for me to make headlines for the next few months. Chapter 371. Hey, doesn't your news agency have a gourmet section too? Get your gourmet reporter here too. It's such a good opportunity. Yes, I'll call him right now. Our gourmet editor is a die-hard fan of Grandpa Kai. Even the desktop background of his computer is made by the old man. I told him that Fei William would be here tonight, and that he had to come to report on the news, but he didn't care at all. If he knew that the old man would be here, he would definitely regret it. Ha 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 ha. In the corner, Xiao Tao was so excited that she was shaking Ningxi's arm. Ah. Elder Kai. It's really Elder Kai. Sister Shi, you're amazing. Just like Doraemon. You can conjure up whoever you want. When on earth did you call? Why didn't I know? Ningxi was speechless. She hadn't even touched her phone, okay? And what the hell was this Doraemon? When Kai Fengxian appeared, she was so shocked that she thought she was hallucinating. And she was sure that it wasn't YS who invited him. Regardless of whether he could invite him or not, that guy was only interested in messing with her. There was no way he would help her out. So who was it that helped her out? Could it be? Ningxi's heart skipped a beat. A certain man's cold profile appeared in her mind. The only person who could invite Mr. Kai Fengxian was probably. When he saw the two at the door, the hotel owner ran up to them and greeted them warmly. Elder Kai, why didn't you tell me you were coming? I could have sent someone to pick you up. This is really too rude. Kai Fengxian waved his hand nonchalantly. There's no need for that. Kai Cheng explained. My father was asked by someone to come at the last minute. So that's how it is. The hotel owner showed an expression of sudden realization and looked meaningfully at Ningxi in the corner. When everyone heard this, They were even more certain that Ningxi had asked someone to invite them. Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence? So what? We have Mr. He Xian. Mr. He Xian is the best chef in China. Fangya said disdainfully. That's right, Mr. He Xian is the founder of China's best restaurant, Green Lotus. The other members of the crew also chimed in. At that moment, some food bloggers and food reporters looked at Fangya and the actors as if they were looking at pure idiots. They had some doubts before, but now they were sure that Fangya and the actors were indeed idiots. They were complete idiots. They did not know anything, but they were still pretending to be smart. This was the real shame. Grandmaster Kai. He Xian walked up to Kai Fengxian and greeted respectfully. Yes, we meet again. Elder Kai nodded. I didn't expect Grandmaster Kai to show up. Back then, I was reluctant to come here. But now, it seems I have come to the right place. If Grandmaster Kai has the time, I hope you can give me some pointers, He Xian said with a smile. When Fangya and the other actors saw He Xian's attitude toward Elder Kai, they were stunned speechless. Their expressions of shock and embarrassment were indescribable. On the other side, Danielle from the VIP seats walked straight towards Kai Fengxian. The two old men looked at each other for a long time, separated by a few steps. It took Danielle a long time to calm down. Old buddy, long time no see. Chapter 372. Kai Fengxian heaved a long sigh and looked nostalgic. Long time no see. It's been 10 years since we last met in Country F, right? Yes. I'm afraid we won't have another 10 years to live. It's rare for you to come to Country F. What do you think? We didn't decide the winner 10 years ago. Do you want to continue today? Kai Fengxian's eyes lit up. Of course. Danielle answered cheerfully. Hearing the conversation between the two masters, the boss of the hotel was excited beyond words. He had planned to make use of Su Yan and Ning Xueluo's proposal to make the hotel famous. This unexpected development made him ecstatic. A proposal banquet was not as good as a gimmick as a duel between the top masters of Chinese and Western cuisines at the Royal Duke Hotel in the capital. He had made a fortune this time. He had to thank Miss Ningxi properly later. She had been so quiet, but she had made such a big move. At this moment, a large group of reporters suddenly rushed into the hotel, and all of them ran in the direction of the banquet hall. The hotel's security guards and waiters stopped them. Where are you from? This is a private banquet. You can't come in without an invitation. I'm a reporter from XX Food Channel. I'm a photographer from XX Newspaper. I'm a contributing editor from XX Magazine. I heard that Mr. Danielle and Elder Kai are here tonight, so I came all the way here. Let us in. The reporters were all asking for help. The security guards and waiters looked embarrassed. No, we can't do that. We have our rules. Rules are made by people. Please make an exception. That's right. We're all qualified reporters. We're not ordinary tabloid reporters. You can ask your manager if you don't believe me. I'm sure he'll agree. Wait a minute. I'll ask him. There were too many reporters tonight. Although the hotel had added a lot of security guards, they couldn't stop the reporters' enthusiasm. One of the waiters hurried to ask the manager for instructions. It's a good thing for the hotel, but the two guests tonight are too important. We can't be careless. The manager couldn't make a decision, so he went to the boss. There are reporters outside, clamoring to come in. Boss, what do you think? The boss of the hotel was naturally happy to see that happen, but he couldn't make a decision on his own, so he went to discuss it with the organizers of the crew. After knowing the boss's intention, Wang Taihe, Guo Qixing, and the others discussed it for a while. They all felt that this was a good opportunity to promote the movie, so they agreed on the spot. Thus, all that was left was the opinion of the most important person involved. The hotel owner rubbed his hands, walked up to the two masters, and explained the situation to them. Then he asked nervously, "These reporters have come especially for the two of you. I wonder if the two of you are willing to be photographed." Danielle and Kai Fengxian looked at each other, and then at Ningxi in the corner. Danielle said, "I'm here for the beautiful Miss Ningxi and her distinguished guests. As long as they are her guests, I have no objection. In other words, Danielle wouldn't allow them to film unless they were invited by Ningxi as her guests. Well, the hotel owner looked troubled. He looked at Kai Fengxian and asked, "What about you, Elder Kai?" Chapter 373. I agree with Danielle, Elder Kai said. Alright. Looks like I can only ask Ningxi now. Thus, the hotel boss ran towards Ningxi. Miss Ning, you should have heard what Mr. Danielle and Elder Kai said. They will only accept your guests' photos. There are so many reporters waiting outside. What do you think? Ningxi lowered her eyes and thought for a moment. Now that everyone was happy to see the result, if she rejected now, she would offend too many people. Actually, it was fine to give those reporters some face. But Ningxi considered her words and said, "This banquet is for the wrapping up of Under the Heavens, not my personal banquet. Since producer Wang and director Wang have no objections, I naturally have no objections. However, Mr. Feng, I'll have to trouble you to screen the reporters outside. Only those with qualifications can come in. Also, one more thing, they must not disturb the order of the banquet. Otherwise, I'll have to ask them to leave. The two masters have come from afar, and everyone should not want any unpleasantness. What do you think?" Ningxi's words were watertight, and Mr. Feng's eyes revealed a trace of admiration. He was the one who wanted this banquet to go smoothly the most, so he naturally agreed. Of course. I'll go and tell them now, and I'll send more security to maintain order. We will definitely not disturb the banquet and the two masters tonight. Soon a large group of reporters came in. The reporters were cooperative. After all, they were professionals in the food industry. Just based on their respect for the two masters, they did not dare to act rashly. After thanking Ningxi with their eyes, they all quietly found a corner to set up their cameras. A collision of Chinese and Western food culture had officially begun. Mr. Feng was anxiously arranging for people to prepare the dishes. The waiter hurriedly handed over a list. "Boss, these are the ingredients that the two masters need." Old Feng looked at it and was stunned. "Oh, look at my brain. I forgot the most important thing. I did not expect this. Our hotel definitely does not have enough ingredients. Mr. Danielle has prepared his own ingredients, but now we need to change the menu. We still need a lot of other ingredients. And I'm afraid it's too late to transfer them now. What should we do?" The manager was also anxious. Seeing that the two masters had already started to prepare, but their hotel didn't have enough ingredients, the hotel owner was about to vomit to death. Seeing that the boss's expression wasn't right, the guests started to whisper to each other. "Hey, what's wrong with the boss? Why do you look so pale? It seems like there aren't enough ingredients." Because if they wanted to PK now, they would definitely need double the amount of ingredients. Moreover, the two masters have very high requirements for the ingredients. Ordinary ones definitely won't do. Damn. No way. We've been waiting for so long. Don't tell me it's going to be ruined. What's going on? Moreover, there are so many reporters here. We can't let them all go back because of this kind of mistake, right? This is hilarious. Humph. You'd better not. In the corner, Fangya whispered, but this time she had learned her lesson and did not dare to speak too loudly. Ning Xuelua pretended to be calm on the surface, but she was actually very nervous in private. Naturally, she wanted nothing more than to fail. Chapter 374. However, it was destined that things wouldn't go as they wished tonight. Just as the hotel owner was about to vomit blood, a young waiter outside the door hurriedly ran towards him and whispered a few words in his ear. The boss didn't know what he heard, but he was shocked and quickly went out to greet the waiter. As soon as he reached the door, he saw 2 rows of well-trained waiters, each carrying fresh ingredients. It looked like they were flown in. Who was the culprit behind all this? Could it be? Could it really be? That was the only thought that flashed through the boss' mind. He didn't have time to think about anything else and quickly ordered them to bring it in. The ingredients were the most important. When piles of fresh and chilled ingredients were brought in, everyone was once again amazed. Ning Xuelua's heart finally snapped, and she fell into her chair with a deathly pale face. It's over. The rest of the time was a great torment for her. Every time a camera or mobile phone camera was pointed at her, her whole body would tense up. Tonight, she was supposed to be the center of attention, and today, she was indeed the center of attention, but she was treated as a joke. Danielle's sous chef was A, while Elder Kai's sous chef was her eldest son Kai Chung. The rest of the assistants were all elites they had brought with them. Both sides began cooking in an orderly manner. As time ticked by, the aroma of food began to waft through the banquet hall. Everyone was so tempted that they couldn't help but salivate. In the end, both sides made 10 dishes, 2 of which were desserts. Elder Kai's dish was hibiscus oatmeal rolls, golden champion shark wings, 5-flavor abalone, manhan pearl dumplings, royal red top swallow, Tai Chi divine cauldron, imperial ginseng, exquisite ice crab, purple potato cake, and poria durian cake. Danielle's dish was Hudson Valley duck liver sauce, herb roasted pigeon, braised abalone with jellyfish, honey sauce barbecue emperor, vinegar crispy vegetarian eel, begonia lobster, garlic oyster tempura, grilled vegetable peacock clams, plum champagne float, and Gruyere cheese puffs. Both sides had their own specialties, and they clearly represented the cuisine of their respective countries. A young actor who was recording a live broadcast pointed the camera of his mobile phone at the table of delicacies in front of him, and unkindly said to his fans who were watching the live broadcast, "Babies, do you see that? Do you see that? I'm going to start eating. Just watch and enjoy yourself, ha 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 ha." The fans on the live stream wailed. Releasing poison in the middle of the night, and it's a lethal poison at that. How unkind. I was so angry that I took out a bag of spicy sticks. Please point the camera at my goddess Ning. No, to be more precise, it's goddess she. I really want to see the goddess eat. Me too. The goddess is so cool tonight. Ha 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 ha, that's right. I'll just quietly watch you act cool, and never interrupt you. The next second, the camera focused on Ningxi in the corner as everyone wished. Ningxi was focused on tasting the food. She seemed to feel that someone was secretly filming her. She inadvertently raised her head, and out of politeness, she subconsciously smiled at the camera. Roar. He was cursed. I've been laughed at by the goddess. So beautiful that I'm crying. No wonder Mr. Danielle always emphasized the beautiful and honorable Miss Ning before. Only goddess she can bear these 2 adjectives. Ningxi's dignity and elegance really come from her bones. I'm going to turn from a passerby to a fan. Chapter 375. Listening to the comments of the food critics, Xiao Tao, who was busy eating, mumbled, "Oh my God! They're all so delicious, it's so hard to choose. What about you, Sister Shi? Which one do you think tastes better?" Ningxi rubbed her chin and said, "It's hard to tell which one is better. In terms of desserts and appetizers, Western food has always had an advantage over Chinese food. Mr. Danielle's desserts are exquisite like works of art and taste great, but Chinese food's main course is slightly better. Just like a food journalist said, Chinese food is more humane. Just from the names of the dishes, you can tell that each dish has a special meaning." Xiao Tao nodded. "You're right, it's really hard to tell which one is better." In the warm and peaceful atmosphere, in the extreme joy brought by the delicacies, the banquet gradually came to an end. After the party, Ningxi went to the bathroom, and Xiao Tao waited for her outside. She was browsing Weibo when someone suddenly called out to her. "Hello, are you Miss Ning's assistant?" Xiao Tao looked up and was surprised to see the hotel owner talking to her. "Yes, Mr. Feng, what can I do for you?" "Ah, it's like this is a small token of my appreciation for Miss Ning. If you don't mind, please accept it," Mr. Feng said, attentively handing over a card. Xiao Tao glanced at the gilded card. "This is?" Mr. Feng explained. "This is our Royal Duke Hotel's Platinum card. Our Royal Duke Hotel has a total of 3 types of cards: silver, gold, and platinum. The platinum card is the highest level. Not only do you get a 40% discount, but you can also enjoy the most distinguished treatment. The hotel will specially reserve a room and a private room for platinum card holders, so no matter when you come, there will be a seat." When Xiao Tao heard this, a look of surprise appeared on her face. However, she restrained herself and didn't reveal too much surprise. After all, she had been by Lung Manyun's side, and had seen this kind of thing many times. She knew that if she appeared too excited, it would cause others to look down on Ningxi. Right now she was not only representing herself, but also Ningxi herself. So Xiao Tao said calmly, "But I didn't do anything to deserve it. Miss Assistant, you're too kind. It's all thanks to Miss Ning that our hotel is able to host two masters like Danielle and Elder Kai. We can't thank you enough." After Boss Feng finished speaking, a light flashed in his eyes. He lowered his voice and added, "I also ask Miss Ning to thank that lord for me." Xiao Tao blinked her eyes, her face full of confusion. "That lord? Who is it?" Xiao Tao didn't understand, so she skipped the question. "If that's the case, thank you for your kindness." Seeing that Xiao Tao didn't give him a clear answer, Mr. Feng was a little unwilling. However, it wasn't appropriate to ask this kind of question, so he could only nod and leave. Before he left, Mr. Feng turned his head and looked in the direction of the young assistant. He was even more suspicious. "TSK, I still can't get anything out of him. Was the person behind Ningxi the lord he had guessed? Forget it, no matter what, it's never wrong to be polite." As soon as Ningxi came out of the bathroom, Xiao Tao immediately stopped pretending to be reserved and skipped over happily. "Sister Shi, let me show you something." "What?" Ningxi asked suspiciously. "Royal Duke's Platinum card. Mr. Feng just gave it to me." Chapter 376. Mr. Feng? Why does he want to give us this? Thanks to you, this time their hotel got such a big hit for free and saved a lot of advertising fees. It's just a platinum card. It's not a big deal. Ningxi sighed. She really couldn't explain what happened tonight to anyone, so she could only acquiesce. "Okay, then you can keep it." I'll keep it?" Xiao Tao looked surprised. "Of course, in the future, my matters in this area will be arranged by you, the little housekeeper. It's more convenient to leave it to you." Xiao Tao blushed and put it in her bag. Then I'll keep it for you. Pearl River Imperial View. After Ningxi returned to the apartment, the first thing she did was throw herself on the bed. Tonight was simply too tiring. Her heart was tired. She had been on tenterhooks since yesterday, and all kinds of unexpected situations happened one after another. Anyway, she had no strength left in her body at this moment. Just as he was about to fall asleep on the bed, the doorbell outside suddenly rang. Ningxi suddenly broke down. It was so late. Who could it be? She almost had a phobia of doorbell sounds. "Don't care." Ningxi lay motionless on the bed, but the doorbell kept ringing, as if urging her to die. She had no choice but to open the door with a gloomy face. As soon as she walked into the living room, she heard a sly voice coming from outside. "Little Cece, open the door. Little Cece, open the door. Little Cece, open the door." Ningxi opened the door and looked at Lu Jingli outside the door with blue veins popping on her forehead. "Second master, stop howling. What are you doing so late at night?" Lu Jingli immediately squeezed in and said excitedly, "Little Cece, you exploded." Ningxi rolled her eyes at him speechlessly. "You're the one who exploded." Lu Jingli walked back and forth in the living room like a madman, then quickly muttered, "Damn it, I really regret it. I regret it so much that my intestines are turning green." Ningxi pinched her eyebrows. "Stop pacing around. What are you trying to say?" Lu Jingli looked pained. "What I want to say is, why did I go to that boring business reception tonight? In the end, he missed such an exciting scene. Now I can only bitterly search for live streams on the internet." Ningxi was speechless. "Of course it's because boring business cocktail parties can make a lot of money. Gossip is not as important as money," Lu Jingli retorted righteously on the spot. "How can money be more important than gossip?" Ningxi. "Okay, I forgot that you are a tycoon. Money is just a number to you. To you, gossip is indeed more important." Lu Jingli clutched his chest. Furthermore, and Danielle tonight. There was also Kai Fengxian. Do you know how hard it is to have a meal with these two gods? I actually missed it. I missed it. I missed it. And he missed 2 with a single mistake. I'm so heartbroken that I don't want to live anymore. The corners of Ningxi's mouth twitched. Then you should rush to the Royal Duke Hotel. You might even be able to eat some leftovers. What are you doing here? Lu Jingli did not speak, and just stared at her resentfully. Ningxi pinched her eyebrows helplessly. Okay. My boss. I know you didn't come, and I know you like it, so I specially saved it for you. Ningxi said as she took out a box of exquisite pastries from the fridge. I couldn't bring anything else, so I could only bring you a box of purple potato cakes. Chapter 377. Lu Jingli pounced on it. Ow. Sister-in-law. You're my sister-in-law. Ningxi's face darkened. Give it back to me if you talk nonsense again. Lu Jingli immediately hid far away with the cake. I'm not talking nonsense. Then he grabbed the cake and began to eat it. As he spoke, he did not forget to talk to Ningxi. Little Cece, learn how to make it. Then I can eat it often in the future. It's not difficult. I know how to make it, but how can it be compared to Elder Kai's? Don't even think about it. Ningxi poured cold water on him. Lu Jingli looked angry as he ate. My brother is too much. Ningxi was speechless. Why are you talking about your brother again? Lu Jingli gave Ningxi a meaningful look and then replied in a drawl. I don't know who invited Danielle, but I saw my brother run out of the party in the middle of Kai Fengxian's, so I personally called him to invite him. I begged him several times before, but he refused to help me. Ningxi was speechless. Kai Fengxian Lu Tingxiao had invited him? Although she did suspect it for a moment, she did not expect it to be him. So, the emergency food was also arranged by him? Sure enough, his flawless style was exactly the same as that of the devil. Looking at Ningxi's expression, which was obviously seduced by his brother, Lu Jingli looked satisfied. Finally, of course, there was a more important question. After eating the purple potato cake, Lu Jingli moved closer to Ningxi and said in a tone that suggested he was trying to abduct a little girl. Little Cece, there's something I'm very curious about. My brother invited old Mr. Kai Fengxian, so who invited Danielle? Ningxi finally couldn't bear it anymore. Second young master, you won't get a wife if you continue to be so nosy. I didn't want to marry her. Lu Jingli replied in a matter-of-fact tone. Ningxi held her forehead. Tell me. I promise I won't tell anyone. Lu Jingli was persistent. Ningxi rolled her eyes at him. Who would believe him? Just when Ningxi was annoyed by Lu Jingli, her phone suddenly rang. Ding dong, ding dong. He casually picked it up and saw 2 new messages at the same time. He unlocked it and opened WeChat. The next second, after reading the 2 messages, Ningxi was dumbfounded. There were 2 new messages in WeChat. Frowny face YS. Is it good? Lu Tingxiao, is it good? Ningxi. What's going on? Even the timing of the transmission was exactly the same, not even a second off. Before the shock on Ningxi's face faded, the phone rang twice in a row. YS. Which one is the best? This is a compulsory question. Lu Tingxiao. Which dish do you prefer? Moreover, it was sent at the same time. Did they have to be so tacit? Lu Jingli noticed that Ningxi's expression was not right. He approached her with concern and asked, Little Cece, what's wrong with you? It's already so late, who would send you a message? Ahem, nothing. Ningxi was startled and quickly took back her phone. That was close, Lu Jingli almost saw it. Just in case, she'd better change the names of these 2 people. Ningxi rubbed her chin and thought for a moment. She avoided Lu Jingli and began to type to change the names. YS was changed to Cloud Radish, Lu Tingxiao was changed to Lu Bye Bye. Chapter 378. What kind of gaze did Lu Jingli have? When he was gossiping, he had a pair of fiery eyes. Therefore, with that glance just now, he had already roughly caught a glimpse of the content of the message. He immediately touched his chin meaningfully. Yes, it's that guy. TSK, very good. I've achieved my goal tonight. Of course, I can make it even better. So Lu Jingli began to jump around again. Xiao Sisi, which of the two master's dishes do you think is better? This was the third time she was asked this question. Ningxi was about to break down. Don't ask me which one is better. It's such a double entendre, okay? It's not a compulsory question, it's a suicide question. Ningxi glared at him fiercely. Shut up. Don't ask anymore. It's late. You've eaten and you've gossiped. Go back. Otherwise, I'm going to tell your brother that you're still staying at my place in the middle of the night. Lu Jingli immediately took a few steps back in horror. Xiao Sisi, how can you do this? You've become a bad person. So are you leaving or not? I'm calling him now. Ningxi raised her phone to threaten him. Lu Jingli's eyes were filled with tears. For his own safety, he quickly ran away. Seeing that Lu Jingli had finally left, Ningxi finally breathed a sigh of relief. She had been sleepy at first, but now that Lu Jingli and those messages had come, it seemed that she would not be able to sleep tonight. There were bound to be many people who would not be able to sleep tonight. Platinum Palace. Lu Jingli pushed open the door of the study and leaned against the door frame, panting. Brother, I'm back. In order to get some information for you, I risked my life to come back. Lu Tingxiao looked up from a pile of documents and glanced at the remnants of snacks at the corner of his mouth. Lu Jingli lifted his sleeve to wipe his mouth. Oh, it's my sister-in-law. She's so polite and even brought me a box of snacks. I didn't want to eat them, but she insisted. Lu Tingxiao. Ha, brother, I've got some very important information. Do you want to hear it? After saying that, Lu Jingli rolled his eyes with a belly full of mischief. If you also ask Grandpa Kai to cook a meal for me, I'll tell you right away. Lu Tingxiao's response was to continue doing what he was doing, not even sparing him a glance. Fuck. Brother, you really don't want to know? You really don't want to? Then I won't say any more. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. All right. For the sake of our brotherhood, I'll tell you directly. In fact, he couldn't hold it in for more than 3 seconds. Lu Jingli couldn't wait to start saying, Brother, let me tell you, the person who wrote that mushy love letter, prepared a surprise for little Cece, and invited Danielle, is indeed the man with the alphabet YS, who doesn't dare to show his face. Oh, by the way, did you send a WeChat message to Cece just now? That guy actually sent a message to sister-in-law at almost the same time. Even the content was almost the same as yours. That's amazing. The two of you are too telepathic. Lu Tingxiao finally looked up at Lu Jingli, who was muttering to himself. There was an unfathomable undercurrent in his eyes. Lu Jingli sighed and murmured, Since that guy has already made his move, there will be a second time. This time he hired a chef. Who knows, maybe the next time he'll directly turn a person into a living person. Brother, I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to chase after your wife in the future. Chapter 379. As Lu Jingli spoke, the corner of his mouth revealed a sly smile. But you have two things that can instantly kill him. First, you'll be in a favorable position. It won't be easy for that guy to return to China. Second, it's definitely our Xiaobao. Lu Tingxiao's knuckles slowly tapped on the armrest. How's Xiaobao's enrollment going? Don't worry about me. He can enroll anytime. Ning family's villa. Aya Shualua is back. Did you have fun tonight? Tell me. Zhuangling Yu knew that Suyan was going to propose, so she waited for her daughter to come back. Looking at Zhuangling Yu's expectant face, Ning Shualua forced a smile. Mom, I'll tell you later. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to rest. Huh? Tired? Seeing her daughter enter the house and close the door, Zhuangling Yu looked at her husband with a puzzled expression. What's wrong with Shualua? Ning Yahua put down the newspaper in his hand. His intuition told him that something was wrong, so he called the maid who usually took care of Ning Shualua. Master, you were looking for me? Ling, go and find out what happened tonight. Why did Miss lock herself in the house as soon as she came back? Ning Yahua said in a low voice. Zhuangling Yu chimed in. Yeah, and she doesn't look too good. Didn't Su Yan propose today? Logically speaking, she should be happy, right? Is she shy? At this moment, the maid hurriedly said, Master. Madam. That's not it. It's Miss who was wrong tonight. Ning Yahua's expression immediately changed. What? Wronged? Who dares to do that to my precious daughter? Is it that brat Su Yan? The maid shook her head. How could it be young Master Su? Young Master Su dotes on Miss. Then what's going on? Hurry up and tell us. Zhuang Lingyu said anxiously. Master, madam, what happened tonight is too complicated. I can't explain it in a short time. You can watch it yourself. The maid took out her phone and clicked on a video. Ning Yahua and Zhuang Lingyu looked at each other, then quickly took the phone and started watching. The two of them quickly browsed through the video, and their expressions became more and more unpleasant. The maid said angrily, Master, madam, did you see that? Tonight was supposed to be young Master Su's proposal to our eldest Mississippi. He had meticulously prepared it for a long time. In the end, second Miss came out to make trouble time and time again. Fortunately, our eldest Miss had a good temper, so she endured and endured until she finally couldn't take it anymore. Young Miss must have been so sad at that time. It was supposed to be the happiest moment, but it was all ruined by second Miss. In the end, he was laughed at by so many people at the scene, and it was even spread on the internet. Now this video is all over the internet. That's why I saw it. In fact, although this video was downloaded from the internet, it had been edited to deliberately omit the parts where Fang Yu repeatedly provoked him. Just as Xiaoling was complaining, Ning Xueluo's stern voice came from behind. Little Ling, who allowed you to spout nonsense here? Xiaoling secretly exchanged glances with Ning Xueluo, then made a pitiful expression. Young mistress. I'm sorry, but what I said was the truth. I'm just angry. Chapter 380. Xueluo, why are you blaming her? Xiaoling didn't say anything wrong. Zhuang Lingyu held her daughter's hand and looked at her pale face. Her face was full of heartache. I didn't expect something like this to happen. You've been wronged. Ning Xueluo's face was full of forbearance. Mom, I'm not wronged. I don't care about what happened tonight at all. As long as Brother Yin treats me well, I don't care what other people think of me. I really like Brother Yin. I'm not using him as a tool to show off. It's just that Sister's actions tonight really hurt me. I really don't know why she's treating me like this. Xiaoling, who was at the side, quickly interjected. Missy, do you still need to ask? Young Master Su is proposing to you tonight. It would be strange if second Miss didn't cause trouble, okay? She just can't stand to see you do well. Ning Yahua's face immediately darkened. That girl is too outrageous. Now people don't know that they are sisters. If they know, they will see the two sisters fighting in front of outsiders. What kind of people will that be? Ning Xueluo held back her tears. It's my fault for misunderstanding my sister about Kai Jing, but I've done everything I can. I've tried my best to help her, but she rejected me every time. Now my sister's misunderstanding of me is getting deeper and deeper. I really don't know what to do, Zhuang Lingyu sighed. Sigh, silly child. Mom has already told you many times. Why do you care so much about what she thinks? Don't you know her personality? It's best if you don't care about her. Ning Xueluo immediately said with a serious expression. Of course I care because she's my parents' biological daughter. I care about her as much as I care about my parents. I don't want there to be any conflict between the two of you because of me. Ning Yahua was moved. Xueluo, Dad really doesn't know what to say to you. If Ningxi was half as sensible as you, I sigh. Ning Xueluo revealed a somewhat gloomy expression. Sometimes I really think that I should go back to the Tang family. Zhuang Lingyu immediately grabbed her hand nervously. Xueluo, how could you say something like that? Are you going to abandon your mother? But my sister might only be willing to come back if I'm gone. I think I'm the bane of your family's reunion. Ning Xueluo could not help but burst into tears. Zhuang Lingyu hurriedly hugs her and pacifies her. Xueluo, how could you say such a thing? You are mother's most beloved daughter. You are our Ning family's lucky star. Ever since you were born, our Ning family's business has been getting better and better. Last time, it was you who introduced Boss Wang. Have you forgotten? Ning Yahua became nervous when he heard that Ning Xueluo wanted to go back to the Tang family. Don't ever talk about yourself like that again. Could Master Long personally tell your fortune for you be wrong? You are the lucky star of our Ning family. No one can drive you away. Zhuanglinyu helped her wipe her tears. Shueluo, Daddy and Mommy know that you have been wrong today. Don't be sad. Tonight is just a proposal. What's the big deal? Wait until your official engagement banquet. That's the real glory. Yes, when the time comes, no one will be able to compete with you. I will personally go and discuss with the Su family. Chapter 381. Listening to Ning Yaohua and Zhuanglingyu's solemn promise, Ning Shue's eyes flashed with an imperceptible smile. Ning Yaohua and Zhuanglingyu were not a big deal. The most important thing was that there was Su Yimo, who was said to have a powerful background. If Su Yimo played her role, Ningxi would have no chance to turn the tables. She had offended the senior management of Lu Enterprises. What good could she do? Su Yimo had been too proud to argue with Ningxi before. But after tonight's incident, would she still leave Ningxi alone? Then she would just have to sit back and watch the tigers fight. Ha, Ningxi, I'll wait and see how you die. After finishing filming, Ningxi rested at home for 3 days. Apart from the routine exercise and eating, she slept like a pig. It wasn't until the 3rd day that she finally felt the half of her soul that she had left in Meng Chang's body come back, as well as the half that had been scared away. However, the next second, she received a ding sound. Because of a text message, her soul was scared away again. Ningxi, are you free tomorrow? Xiaobao's enrollment is done. Lu Baikai. Ningxi stared blankly at Lu Baikai's name, and didn't reply for a long time. Although the party was over, it didn't mean that the crisis was over. Instead, it gave her a big wake-up call. That guy not only wanted to tease her, but also wanted to threaten and warn her. He wanted to warn her that even if he was thousands of miles away, he could still reach her. Ningxi pinched between her eyebrows, took out her cell phone, and found a dusty number in the phone book. The phone only rang once before it was immediately connected. Ningxi was stunned for a moment before she reacted. She hurriedly said, "Hello, Annie." "Hello, brother Shi. It's really you. How long has it been since you last contacted me?" "Good girl." Hearing the girl's excited voice, Ningxi's eyes softened. "Brother Shi, I miss you so much. But before you left, you said you wanted to say goodbye to the past and start a new life. So I didn't dare to disturb you, nor did I dare to contact you." The girl's voice was sad. Ningxi chuckled. "Silly girl, I was pretending to be pretentious. You really believe it?" "What?" Annie sounded as if she had suffered a huge blow. "So I've been holding it in for so long without daring to contact you." Ningxi was overjoyed. "Haha. I'm just teasing you. Why are you still so gullible?" "You're teasing me again. Brother Shi, you're too much." Okay, I'm not playing anymore. Let's talk business. I called you this time to ask you about something." Ningxi's tone became serious. Annie hurriedly said seriously, "What's the matter, brother Shi? I'll tell you everything I know." Ningxi scratched her head and asked, "Well, it's about your boss. Has he been behaving strangely recently?" Annie was stunned. She stammered, This. The impatient Ningxi couldn't wait any longer. She hurriedly urged, "What is this? Yes or no?" What a simple question. Annie had to answer immediately, "Brother Shi, yes." "Yes." Ningxi immediately straightened her back. "What's so strange about it? Tell me." Chapter 382. Annie coughed lightly and said awkwardly, "Boss, a few days ago, he was sitting on the deck in the middle of the night." "Sitting on the deck for what? Can't you finish your story in one breath? Do you want me to die of anxiety?" Ningxi couldn't breathe, and was about to collapse. "He sat on the deck and wrote a love letter for a whole night." Annie finally finished her story in one breath. She didn't have to think to know how she looked on the other end of the phone. Ningxi frowned. "I thought it was something weird. Why are you stuttering for such a long time?" Annie stammered, "Brother Shi, boss wrote a love letter to you, right?" Well, it was Ningxi's turn to stutter. Annie deliberated over her words and complained with difficulty. Boss's writing skills are really not that good. That night, he threw paper balls all over the deck. A few of us couldn't stand it anymore and offered to write for him. In the end, they were all beaten up by Boss. Boss insisted on doing it himself. He wrote those words for a whole night. Ningxi touched her forehead. Haha, I hope he can use this spirit of self-improvement in other areas. Don't hurt her anymore. Ningxi paused and continued to ask, apart from that, are there any other signs of abnormal behavior? No, brother Shi. Annie answered affirmatively. Then she pondered for a moment and added, our recent actions are a bit unusual. What's unusual? Ningxi asked immediately. It's just that they seem to be making more and more moves in Hua Nation. Also, Big Brother seemed to want to go back to China a few days ago, but there was a sudden problem with a very important shipment. He has been dealing with this matter these days. I see. Ningxi frowned. They were doing more and more things in China? Maybe it had something to do with Lu Tingxiao. Ningxi nodded. Okay, that's all for now. Remember to report to me if there's anything unusual. Annie said awkwardly. A brother Shi, isn't this a bad idea? I don't want to be a mole. The corner of Ningxi's mouth twitched. Annie, you only care about your brother now, don't you? Who saved your little life back then? Annie panicked. Brother Shi, I haven't forgotten. You saved me. Ningxi nodded with satisfaction. That's good. So you're not a traitor. He was a spy. Understand? Annie replied. Oh, I understand, Ningxi. Good girl. All right, I'm hanging up. Mwax. Annie said. Wait, brother Shi. Ningxi. What else? Brother Shi, is it really impossible for you to come back? Annie said in a sad tone. Ningxi listened to the sound of the sea breeze on the other end of the phone, slowly closed her eyes and murmured. After staying in the dark for a long time, people inevitably yearn for the light. In the past, I was indeed carefree and unrestrained, but my heart was like a rootless duckweed. I couldn't find the meaning of my existence. Although there are many constraints and difficulties in my life now, I like this kind of challenge. I like this feeling of having a goal. Do you understand? Brother Shi, are you serious? Or are you just showing off? Annie's weak and uncertain voice came from the other end of the phone. Ningxi. All right, she was wrong. She shouldn't have teased the innocent little girl. She had finally dug a pit for herself. Chapter 383. After hanging up the phone, Ningxi lay back on the bed. She didn't get much useful information from this phone call, but she was sure that the guy had been active in China recently. If it weren't for the accident with the goods, he would have been ready to go back to China. After taking a deep breath, Ningxi finally replied to Lu Tingxiao with a text message. Ningxi, I'm sorry, Boss Lu. I have work tomorrow. I don't think I can go. Please say sorry to Xiaobao for me. After replying, she threw the phone aside, not daring to look at Lu Tingxiao's reply. The next morning, in front of a private kindergarten, there was a lot of crying children who didn't want to go to school and didn't want their parents to leave. At first, only one child cried, but all the other children were infected and cried. The teachers and parents were busy trying to persuade and coax one child. When they finally persuaded one child, all the previous efforts were wasted when the child next to him cried. In this chaos, the most eye-catching one was the expressionless little bun with a small school bag on his back. The little fellow held Papa's hand and didn't even look at the chaos over there. He just stared at the direction of the road leading to the school. Oh, children, don't cry. Look how obedient that child is. He's not crying at all. A teacher pointed in the direction of Xiaobao for the children to see. The children all looked in Xiaobao's direction. In the end, they saw a cold and terrifying man next to Xiaobao. In the next second, all the children cried even louder. Wow! That child was caught by the devil. Wow, Mommy, I'm scared. Wow, Papa, don't go, I'm scared. The teachers. The parents. Seeing that the situation was getting out of control, the teacher could only walk to Lu Tingxiao, trembling out of duty. This. Parent. The children are a little scared of you. Can you leave first? As soon as he finished speaking, The aura around Lu Tingxiao became even more frightening. The female teacher suddenly shrank and didn't dare to say anything else. Sob, 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 sob. I'm scared too. I'm about to cry. Lu Tingxiao lowered his eyes, looked at his son's little head and said, "Don't wait. She won't come." Xiaobao raised his head and glared at his papa angrily. Then he resolutely continued to stand where he was. Time slowly ticked by. The time for class was getting closer and closer. The children's parents had already begun to urge their children to hurry up and go to class. Ningxi still didn't come. "Let's go in," Lu Tingxiao said again. This time, little Baozi buried his head and scribbled a few words. He raised it up for Papa to see. "Xiaobao, don't go to school." Lu Tingxiao narrowed his eyes and his face darkened. "You're not a 3-year-old anymore. As a man, are you going to go back on your word?" Little Baozi buried his head and continued to write. Xiaobao is a child. A 5-year-old was still a child. Xiaobao is not a man. After she finished writing, she kept a straight face and had an expression that said, "Papa, don't try to use this trick on me again." What an impassioned and forceful Xiaobao is not a man, Lu Tingxiao. Sigh, kids are getting harder to fool as they grow up. At the same time, in a corner not far from the school, a black car was quietly parked. Chapter 384. Lu Chongshan pretended to be calm, but Yan Rui couldn't help urging Xingwu, who was holding a pair of binoculars. "Xingwu, have you seen it clearly? What's going on with Xiaobao? The other kids have already gone to class. Why is Xiaobao still standing there? Is there a problem?" Lu Chongshan's expression was solemn. Xingwu looked at it for a while and hurriedly explained to his parents. "Young master is in trouble. I saw young master write a sentence saying that he doesn't want to go to school anymore. Young master tried to persuade him, but it didn't work." Lu Chongshan's face darkened. "See, I knew that woman's words wouldn't work. But Xiaobao still doesn't want to go to school. What should we do? Wasn't he fine last night? He came to the school gate this morning. Why did he suddenly stop going?" Yan Rui was anxious. Hearing their conversation, Xingwu coughed and said, "It seems that young master doesn't want to go to school because Miss Ningxi didn't come today." Hearing their conversation, Xingwu coughed and said, "The reason why young master suddenly doesn't want to go to school is that Miss Ningxi didn't come today. Young master is probably hoping that Miss Ning will come to see him off today. He must be throwing a tantrum." Hearing this, Lu Chongshan immediately became angry. "Then why didn't she come? Don't tell me you want me to invite her myself? Why don't we invite her? Xiaobao's school is more important." Yan Rui said hurriedly. "Xiaobao's schooling is more important." Yan Rui hurriedly said. "Don't come up with ideas." Yan Rui said hurriedly. Lu Chongshan refused. "Absolutely not. Don't come up with ideas. This time, it will be worse next time. She will point to this and make even more unreasonable demands. Then what should we do?" Yan Rui didn't know what to do. She had been full of hope, but now she was full of disappointment. "Even if we invite her, I'm afraid she won't come, because she knows very well that if Xiaobao completely recovers, she will be worthless. She won't want Xiaobao to recover so quickly," Lu Chongshan said firmly. After listening to Lu Chongshan's explanation, Yan Rui finally understood. Not far away, the father and son were also anxious. Lu Tingxiao asked, "Are you sure you don't want to go to school?" Xiaobao nodded affirmatively. "I'm not going anymore." There was no more love. Lu Tingxiao helplessly looked at his son's incomparably determined little face. He understood his son's character. Once the little guy had made up his mind, there was no way to persuade him. Thus, he could only drag his son back. "Then let's go home." Little Bun clenched his fists, but still stood in place, unwilling to move. Until the bell for class rang. Aunt Xiaoxi really wouldn't come. The little guy's big eyes were filled with sadness. He drooped his little head and mechanically followed his papa, walking back step by step. However, right at this moment, a clear and melodious voice suddenly resounded from the end of the road in the distance. "Darling little Bao." This voice was Aunt Xiaoxi. Xiao Bao's little face suddenly burst forth with a strange radiance. He twisted his body and broke free from his papa's hand, then ran towards the direction of the sound. Following the sound of hurried footsteps, Lu Tingxiao looked up and saw that the girl was wearing Xiao Bao's favorite pink dress and a pink crystal hair clip. She was jogging toward the school. 30,000 words. I'm so tired. For the sake of the author writing so hard, please give me a monthly ticket, double the monthly ticket during the National Day period. Chapter 385. Ningxi rushed over breathlessly, squatted down, hugged Xiao Baozi, and stuffed something into his hands. I'm so tired. Fortunately, I made it in time. Take it, baby. I learned some cooking skills from the master last night, so I got up early this morning and made you a love bento. It's your first day at school. Delicious food can cheer you up. In fact, she had sent that text message last night and made up her mind not to come, but her body seemed to be out of her control. She woke up early in the morning and began to fiddle in the kitchen. When she came to herself, she had already made a lovely and delicate little bento. Alas, her heart was full of Xiao Baozi. She couldn't control herself at all, especially when he thought of Little Bun's disappointed look when he didn't get to see him. His soul directly flew away. So in the end, her body still followed her soul. I'm sorry, baby. Have you waited for a long time? Ningxi looked apologetic. Xiao Baozi held the love bento tightly in his arms and immediately shook his head to show that he was not angry at all. Ningxi was relieved and touched Xiao Baozi's little head. Study hard and listen to the teacher. Xiao Baozi nodded hard. Well, it was good to go to school. He wanted to go to school. Lu Tingxiao couldn't help curling up the corner of his mouth when he saw his son's face change faster than flipping a book. He deliberately exposed him. Didn't you just say you don't want to go to school anymore? Hearing this, Xiao Baozi straightened his back and glared at Papa angrily. Papa was so bad. How could he complain to Auntie Xiaoxi? Complaining was despicable. Ningxi blinked and asked hurriedly, why? Why don't you want to go to school all of a sudden? Lu Tingxiao never indulged his son's temper, so under his son's nervous gaze he said ruthlessly, he is too willful. Xiao Baozi was shocked. He didn't want to talk to Papa anymore. Xiao Baozi stared at Ningxi nervously and was about to cry, for fear that Auntie Xiaoxi would be angry and dislike him. Ningxi nodded and said carelessly, that's not a big deal. Xiao Baozi is still young. Being willful is the patent of children. It doesn't matter, baby. You can be willful as much as you want. Hearing that, Xiao Bao's little face immediately shone with a golden light, and then he looked at the papa beside him with incomparable pride. Sure enough, Aunt Xiaoxi loves me the most. Lu Tingxiao looked at his son, and then at Ningxi. He lowered his eyes and chuckled. Well, you're right. He looked as if his wife was right. Even when he was provoked by his son, he didn't care at all. Lu Tingxiao's smile was so dazzling that Ningxi coughed lightly to avoid his gaze. She hurriedly urged Lu Tingxiao, it's time for class, isn't it? Baby, hurry up and go in. Don't be late. Xiao Bao glanced at the school and tightened his grip on Ningxi, obviously reluctant to let her go. At this moment, there were still some children and their parents who were reluctant to enter the school gate. At this moment, their faces were filled with amazement. They stared blankly at the moment the girl appeared. The aura of the man who had been scaring all the children to tears earlier instantly softened. His cold and stiff-side profile also slowly melted. He actually did not look that scary anymore, and there was even a hint of warmth. Chapter 386. At this time, a child suddenly stared at Ningxi and exclaimed, that child's mother is so beautiful. The other children also noticed it and echoed, like a princess, like a flower fairy, like Xiao Moxian. I want her to be my mother too. A child blurted out. The child's father didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Don't talk nonsense, Mom will be angry. Listening to the children's conversation, Xiao Baozi immediately hugged Ningxi tighter, as if afraid that she would be snatched away. Ningxi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She touched Xiao Baozi's head to comfort her. They are joking. As she listened to all those princesses, flower fairies, Xiaomaxian, she felt incomparably ashamed, because Xiao Baozi liked her to wear pink. She not only wore the pink hair clip that Xiao Baozi gave her, but also wore a very girlish and very princess-like dress. But it was fine as long as Xiao Baozi liked it. Finally, the rest of the children were distracted by Ningxi's appearance and gradually stopped crying. The teacher took the opportunity to lead them into the school. Thus, only Xiao Baozi was left at the school gate. Ningxi hugged Xiao Baozi reluctantly. Go. Xiao Baozi went into the school with a small lunchbox in his arms. At first, he didn't understand why those children were crying, but he understood after Aunt Xiaoxi came. He was reluctant to leave Aunt Xiaoxi and wanted to cry too. Ningxi looked at Little Bun's little back as he carried his little school bag, and thought about how Little Bun would grow up one day and become more and more independent. He would finally leave their protection and no longer need her. Her eyes couldn't help but feel a little sore. What the hell? Why did she feel like a mother? At this time, a warm hand patted her shoulder. Don't be sad, it's a good thing. Ningxi nodded awkwardly. Not far away in the black car, Yanrui was so excited that she cried. Buddha bless me. Buddha bless me. No matter what, Xiao Baozi can finally go to school. Lu Chongshan's face stiffened, probably because his prophecy had been wrong several times, and he snorted. This woman knows when to stop. Yanrui patted her chest and sighed. Alas, this is a big stone in my heart. It finally landed. Lu Chongshan glanced at her. You can finally focus more on boss's marriage now, right? Yanrui wiped her tears. I know. Most of the people have been selected. Didn't I show them to you a few days ago? I'm just short of sending it to the Grand Master to calculate the 8 characters of his birth. Although there were very few people who believed in these things now, in fact, in the circle of the upper class, things like metaphysics and geomancy were still very popular. Generally, before the marriage of the famous families, they also liked to calculate whether the 8 characters of the zodiac were compatible or not. It was better to believe it than not. Don't drag it out any longer. You must get this done within a few days, Lu Chongshan urged. But I haven't thought about it yet. Which master should I look for? How is Master Long? In the capital, this kind of matter was usually looked for him. Yanrui asked. His reputation is very high, and it's more guaranteed. Chapter 387. Hearing this, Lu Chongshan shook his head and said in a low voice, No, that Long Fanning indeed had some ability, but he was not a righteous person. If someone had bribed him to cheat, it would be a big deal. It's not like this hasn't happened before. So it's better not to look for him. Make a trip to Fahua Temple and look for Master Xianjing. Although it's a little troublesome, it's much safer. Every year, the Lu Group donates a lot of money to build the golden body of the Bodhisattva. If you go there personally, the master should give you face. Yanrui nodded and said, All right, then I'll go find Master Xianjing. This isn't a small matter. It doesn't matter how troublesome it is. It's better to be safe. Suddenly, there was a paw sound from the front seat of the car. Xing Wu's binoculars had slipped out of his hand. Master, madam. Eldest young master seems to have discovered us again. Do we still have to keep an eye on them? Xing Wu's voice trembled as he asked bitterly. He had repeatedly gone against the eldest young master, and was even discovered on the spot. He felt that he should have died 100 times over. Lu Chongshan already knew what he was most concerned about, so he took a look at them from afar. It seemed that Ningxi was about to bid farewell to Lu Tingxiao, and they were about to separate. So he didn't intend to stay here any longer. All right, let's go back. Yes. Xing Wu breathed a sigh of relief and immediately started the car to leave. On the other side, the first thing Ningxi did after seeing Little Bun off was, he decisively broke into a run. Then, Boss Lu, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first. I have to shoot an advertisement for a game company today, and I still have to rush over to meet up with Sister Gigi and the others later. Without waiting for Lu Tingxiao's reply, he immediately prepared to run. Then, the next second, he had only taken 2 steps, his wrist tightened, and he was suddenly unable to move forward. Furthermore, his whole body was forcefully pulled into a warm embrace. Lu Tingxiao wrapped his arms around the girl's slender waist and hugged her tightly. His husky voice rang in her ears. Don't go yet. Ningxi. His brain had crashed. The great Demon King's skill had leveled up again. Last time, he at least knew to ask for her opinion. This time he actually directly hugged her. Lu Tingxiao sighed helplessly and hugged her tighter. I wanted to talk to you nicely, but you kept avoiding me. It seems like this is the only way. Ningxi. So is it still my fault? Ningxi, do you remember? Last time, you told me to be careful and bring a few bodyguards with me. Lu Tingxiao suddenly said. At the mention of this, Ningxi immediately tensed up. Of course I remember. What's wrong? Did something happen? Lu Tingxiao patted her back comfortingly. Don't be nervous. It's nothing. I just wanted to tell you something. What is it? Ningxi was confused. Moreover, she really wanted to say, Demon King, please spare me. I won't run anymore. Please let go of me and we can talk properly, okay? Ningxi, when you said those words to me, in order to make you worry about me and to have a chance to get close to you, I deliberately used a little, ahem. Lu Tingxiao coughed lightly. The trick of injuring myself to gain sympathy. Ningxi. Actually, there was no need to explain. She wasn't so stupid that she couldn't even see this. So, what on earth was he trying to say? Chapter 388. Lu Tingxiao continued, and his tone became serious. So Ningxi, don't think of me as a weak person. Don't stay away from me because of this. I promise that no one can hurt me, and no one can threaten you to leave me with this. Hearing this, Ningxi finally understood what he meant, and her heart couldn't help but tighten. Lu Tingxiao slightly let go of her, held her shoulders, and made her look at him. He said word by word as if he wanted to engrave his words in her heart. Ningxi, after saying so much, I just want to tell you that no one or anything can affect your decision. You only need to consider me, and only one thing, that is, whether you like me or not. If it's because you can't fall in love with me, then I will accept it. I will only accept this reason. One more, and the most important one, Ningxi, I am already an adult, and I can be responsible for all my actions. No matter what I do it out of my own will. Although I like you, in fact, it has nothing to do with you, so you don't have to feel any pressure at all. I will wait for you, until the day you fall in love with me. Do you understand? Hearing this, Ningxi smiled bitterly and touched her forehead. Who said that Lu Tingxiao was not good with words? This guy was eloquent enough to attend the national debate competition. Every word he said was really poking the softest part of her heart. In her heart, a voice and an answer echoed. Lu Tingxiao. In fact, she didn't have to wait. I have fallen in love with you for a long time. It was just that she was not strong enough to overcome everything that happened in the past. It was easy to tell him the whole truth, to tell him that she had been raped and gave birth to a stillborn baby. But what she couldn't bear was what she would face after he knew it. Even if she believed that Lu Tingxiao was generous enough to not mind this kind of thing, who would be willing to tear open their dirtiest side and show it in front of the person they loved the most. She couldn't bear just thinking about it. She would rather be the best in his eyes forever. The man in front of her was too good. He should have the best girl as his wife. However, when she thought of this, a thought and impulse that she had never felt before suddenly surged up from the depths of her heart. Yes, the man in front of her should have the best. So why can't she be the best? It was so good that one day, she could overcome her past, overcome her inferiority complex, and stand shoulder to shoulder with him. Not only was it his weakness, but it was also his armor. Ningxi. Ningxi. Lu Tingxiao looked worriedly at the silent girl. The gentle voice in her ears brought Ningxi back to her senses, and her eyes shone with a light that she had never seen before. Yes, Lu Tingxiao, I understand. Lu Tingxiao was slightly startled as he looked at the light in the girl's eyes. Although he didn't know what she was thinking at the moment, he was still affected by her emotions. Okay. After thinking it through, Ningxi felt as if she had been reborn. In her life, In addition to her dream, there was one more wonderful thing that was worth working hard for. Before her brain could react, Ningxi had already taken the initiative to hug Lu Tingxiao. Although it was extremely short, just a light hug, only half a second. Chapter 389. After the hug, she randomly found a few reasons in her confused mind. Thank you, Sir Boss, for your appreciation for helping me out. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to work hard at the company and make progress every day. After that, she flew away like a gust of pink wind. Lu Tingxiao did not seem to realize what had happened and stood there in a daze. After a long time, he finally realized that Ningxi seemed to have taken the initiative to hug him just now. After knowing each other for so long, this was the first and only time she took the initiative. It really felt like he had traveled through mountains and rivers, crossed glaciers, and finally smelled a hint of the fragrance of flowers. Oh my dog eyes. I just fixed them and I'm blind again. Why the hell do I have to see such a scene with such destructive power every time? Oh my god. What kind of physique do I have? Is it a masochistic physique? There was a sad wail from the side. Lu Jingli appeared out of nowhere and looked at the happy expression on his brother's face. He covered his eyes and pretended to be in pain. Why are you here? Lu Tingxiao looked at his brother and asked with a smile. Lu Jingli's mouth twitched, and he rubbed the goosebumps on his arms. Brother, don't talk to me with a smile. I'm not used to it. What's the matter? Lu Tingxiao seemed to realize that his emotions were a little out of control at the moment, so he coughed lightly and restrained himself a little. It's nothing. I saw Xingwu sneakily following you and Xiaobao in his car, so I also sneakily followed him out. Oh right, I also put this on Xingwu's body. Lu Jingli took out a microbug with a sinister smile. That kid definitely didn't expect it. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Well done. Lu Tingxiao was not stingy with his praise. Lu Jingli was so happy that his tail almost flew up to the sky. Of course. I just heard that Mom and Dad are going to the Fahua Temple to read the horoscopes of the socialites they picked for you. Brother, do you think we should do something? For example, make all the socialites' horoscopes not compatible with you, and then give Cici a horoscope that's perfect for you. Maybe his parents would change their minds? Old people seem to believe in this more. No need. Lu Tingxiao rejected it without hesitation. This is an insult to Master Xianjing. Xianjing was a true eminent monk, and it was impossible for him to do such a fake thing. Although there were also people like Long Fanning, he knew very well that with his father's cautiousness, he would definitely not believe the words of such people. At that time, it would be counterproductive. Lu Jingli touched his chin and nodded. All right. If it's Master Xianjing, this matter is really difficult to handle. Besides, maybe you and little Cici are really a match made in heaven? Lu Tingxiao actually nodded, and his expression was quite confident. Lu Jingli clutched his chest, indicating that he had suffered 10,000 damage. All right. Brother, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to be abused anymore in the coming days. I'm going to leave quietly. I'm going to find a small island to heal my wounds. Looking at your current state, I can finally rest assured and take my vacation. Thinking of the 3-month-long holiday, Lu Jingli was revived on the spot. Leave this heartless land. Beach. Sea. Beauty. I'm coming. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.